for the CGI centers. I'm based in Denmark. Actually, this is my home ground. I worked at the University of Zimbabwe for 20 years. Southern Africa. And this program, the global program, is all about getting research into action, getting outcomes for society, for farmers, and for the food system.
Thanks, Bruce. And I hope you'll allow us, you will just explain a little bit more about Agri in a minute after the introductions. Yeah. Okay, so Simona, please, over to you.
Oh, great. I'm Director of Entrepreneurship at Bonahai. At Bonahai, we work with great minds to develop solutions to change the world. And this is one of those opportunities where we believe that bringing partners together on addressing the impact of what's happening around the world with regards to climate on and the food source it's clear enough to the critical service for us to a critical issue that we should be looking at. And especially if we're going to make sure that even though there's many valuable resources that we have on this continent or in this country, that we're still able to do so properly and make sure that people can still need some innovative thinking. This is a great opportunity to allow people to explore that, practices that will actually make this viable.
Thank you so much, Simona from Bonahai, and now Martin, please go ahead.
Good evening, colleagues. My name is Martin Moyo. I'm Zimbabwean. I work for the International Crops Research Institute for the same arid province, ICRISAT. We are based in Bulawayo, out of Zimbabwe. I'm the country representative. We are a partner within the ICRA project, mainly working on Bundle 4 that relates to upscaling crop livestock integration in smallholder agriculture in Zambia. Thank you.
Thanks to Martin Moyo from ICRISAT. If you will allow me, everybody, just to ask Bruce to tell you a little bit about what ICRA stands for, Accelerating the Impact of the CGIAR's Climate Research in Africa. He will just talk briefly about what that project is, and then I will quickly tell you a bit about what we're doing in Zambia, and specifically tonight, which is a very exciting moment for us. So Bruce, if you will, please.
Okay, so there's 60,
Can everybody hear okay? Is that fine? The sound?
yeah, so there's 60 million farmers and farming households in Africa. If we're serious about sustainable development goals, we have to reach all of them in the next 9 seasons or grain. It's an extremely short time to do a lot of things in terms of building their resilience to climate change. And so this ICRA project is all about bringing adaptation methods to farmers from the international research centers, which have got a lot of research on these things. So it's about climate resilient seeds, it's around bringing water through irrigation to farmers, and it's also especially about getting advisory systems to farmers. How do we reach 60 million farmers in a decade? Surely we have to use the new digital means. We have to improve the extension services so that farmers immediately know what the season brings and they can plan for the seeds and the planting dates and those kinds of things. So the whole project is in 6 African countries. Zambia is one of them. But it also works with the regional organizations so we can go beyond the 6 countries. And we just started this year, and it's a 3-year project funded by the World Bank.
Yes, that's great. Thank you so much. Coming now to exactly what we're doing here in Zambia, we're very excited about an initiative linked to, well, it's part of the ICRA project. We call it the ICRA cluster in Zambia. We are working on scaling climate smart agriculture through supporting the agribusiness ecosystem in Zambia. That's primarily our focus here. And we're also working on how do we enhance the delivery of climate information services, forecasts, platforms, digital platforms to communicate weather and climate information to different kinds of users, smallholder farmers, businesses, but even journalists such as yourselves. So we're really happy with this meeting the media today. ICRA Zambia has a few key flagships, key components. One of them is we're launching launching today, which is an accelerator grant. And today we had a wonderful virtual matchmaking dialogue with over 150 SMEs, agri-SMEs in Zambia. We're partnering with Bongo Hike, and some of the CGI are partners in it. But basically what we've designed are 5 grants, $50,000 US each, to scale climate smart agriculture to reach about 300,000 farmers, right, through different climate smart agriculture. And how we're doing that is through what we call these climate smart agriculture bundles. So we focus on solar irrigation and off-grid financing solutions. So we get, agribusinesses sort of powered through solar. And also what are the appropriate finance mechanisms. We know that Zambia has, come out of a drought. We all came out of a drought in Southern Africa. We also experienced economic, downturns across the region. And then there was COVID, right? So, we're looking at how do we build back better, not only building climate resilience, but also, building the agribusiness ecosystem. So we're working on solar, and that's one of the bundles, as Martin says, that INI leads. The second bundle is led by our partner here in Zambia, World Fish, and that's really about how do we integrate aquaculture with agriculture through nutritious farms, through different kinds of practices, also using climate information services. The third bundle, and it's all in the fact sheet there, but I'm just sharing a little bit. The third bundle is led by Dr. Chikoye from IITA, and that's looking at the drought-tolerant seed varieties and the seed system, right? Agronomic practices, services to really strengthen the seed system, a variety of drought-tolerant seeds. And in the fourth bundle, which Dr. Martin Moyo leads at ICRISAT, that's also looking at integrated cropping practices, linking livestock and agriculture, so livestock, legume, chickens, goats, integrated cropping practices. And of course, we want to do all of this, as Bruce said, using climate information services, digital technology, mobile click, right, reaching as many farmers as we can. We also have a fifth grant, which is now looking at how do we work in these spaces, but then targeted at empowering women and youth. So that's also a very strong focus that we have. How do we support women-owned businesses and youth-owned businesses? And so that's what brings us here today to launch this accelerator grant. We've just launched the platform today, so it goes live. And SMEs and partners get a chance to submit an application up to the 4th of December, that's the deadline. And then we evaluate, and the winners will be announced in early January. And we will then start working with them, providing technical assistance and this grant in 2022 and 2023. So that's what we're doing tonight, and we're very excited to launch it, also with partners that are not here at the table today, but will be here. So we encourage you to also, it's a networking opportunity, it's a chance to just hear from some of the SMEs, what they're planning to do, how they want to work, and partner, find different partners. So after this press briefing, we invite you to just join us at the poolside, where we will network a little bit, and then also just say a little bit more about the accelerator grant in a bit. But in addition to the accelerator grant, we're also planning a few other exciting initiatives. One is an internship program, which we will do in partnership with universities here in Zambia, with ZARI as well, and that is not the conventional internship, it's more private sector facing. So private sector partners partner with us, they articulate a very real climate challenge or climate information challenge that they face, and then through a hackathon with the universities, students will submit solutions, and winners will then get a chance to work on those challenges, addressing them, and be placed at the private sector partner, at the SME. So very much trying to support the agribusiness ecosystem. And then the third thing that I thought I'd like to mention is also, we're really trying to promote learning and engagement, not only climate smart agriculture, but also climate information services. So very much in this integrated way. And next year we'll launch a multi-stakeholder dialogue platform. And that's really having monthly dialogues, trainings, learning sessions, study visits, where private sector, research, civil society, government departments get together to engage on what are the challenges of adoption for, what are the barriers to adopting climate smart agriculture, or what are these challenges of delivering climate information services at scale. So that's really, what we're planning, but it's very much a partnership. We're doing it with many different partners, as you can hear, both locally but also regionally and internationally, and we very much look forward to hopefully working also with you to, get the word out to agribusinesses and partners. Thank you. I thought maybe if there are any questions or comments about what we're doing, please introduce yourself. We're happy to take any questions.
You mentioned 300, I think 300,000 farmers that will benefit from each partner from the fire.
From all fire, in total, yes, in total. So 75,000 per bundle is what we're hoping for. It's a big ask. It's a big request. But through climate information services, even today we have some great SMEs, Lima Links, Viamo, these are, SMEs that are already working in this space. So hopefully we can also introduce you to some of them that are already doing such wonderful things, reaching hundreds of thousands of farmers through digital technology. We have one at the back there, the gentleman in the red shirt.
My name is Raphael Gavinda from Daily News Online. I wanted to find out two questions. On the bundle of the where you said addressing drought through climate smart seed varieties. So now I wanted to find out, we have seen in rural areas like Fuso, where there's much of seeds varieties of things, but I want to promote those who are in the rural areas so that they can access this fund so that they can be empowered.
So the question is about access in the rural areas. Dr. Chikoya, I think you can. Any more questions?
Yeah.
Okay, that one. Maybe the gentleman in the front, you can also.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. Excuse me. Mask. My name is Ahok Mukunze. I'm a communications consultant. This seems like a great program and it's very timely. The fact that climate change is wreaking havoc, especially in Africa. Now, I just want to clarify on the number of the people that you're going to award. It says 5 here, and from the looks, you're almost covering like every province in Zambia. How are you going to divide and make sure that at least you get as much people as you can, but within the same cohort?
Yeah, it's a good question, Hope. Thank you. And maybe I'll just answer Hope and then you can respond to the seeds question. So we, it's a little bit adaptive because we're really, it's quite a rigorous process where SMEs will have to apply, they meet a certain criteria, they need to provide us with a business case on how they're going to be scaling this climate smart agriculture and delivering climate information services. So really it depends on which value chains they work in and where they are located. But over the past months, we've engaged also, over 150 SMEs and through these information sessions. So we've done a good many information sessions, virtual ones of course, where we met with SMEs from all over the country. In fact, they have co-developed, these bundles with us. They've helped us refine it. They told us what are their challenges, and so we've tried to refine them to also better suit the Zambian agribusiness landscape. And from those that we've just, engaged with, they really come. Of course, there is a dominance. There's a majority in Lusaka province. But we're lucky. We're happy that, and also through our partners, IITA, World Fish, really have a national spread. So already working with many of these SMEs around the country, nationwide. I think there's only 3 provinces we're not working in, out of the 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe Dr. Chipoyo, you can answer the seeds question.
Yes, thank you very much for the question. The issue of access definitely is an important one. So to access these farmers in the remote areas, we use different mechanisms. One being that we work with the seed companies, and then these seed companies have a strong network of agro dealers who are in basic communities. In a situation where you don't have agro dealers, we work through other partners. I think you can hear that partnership is the key to success. So we might bring on board an NGO that covers a particular area. In addition to that, where all those mechanisms don't work, we actually try to promote community-based seed production schemes, whereby we train a number of maybe youth. We have a lot of educated youth who are out there who have actually nothing to do now. So once we educate them on how to produce the seeds, we then try to train them as a business so that they start serving the local community. And once they grow bigger, then they serve an adjacent community, and then later on, as their scale increases, we also link them to a seed company so that actually they become an outgrower for the seed company. So I think those are the mechanisms which I quite summarize, just based on partnerships with other actors who are in the company.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm David President from Life Team. I would like to get specific to Bonga with regards to Zambian farmers, and how traditional most of our farmers are. And even the government program that is a farmers program is usually best and more on the front side of maize because the distribution is usually maize. So how do you plan? What would be your opinion to farmers? How do you plan to ensure that these farmers actually adapt to climate resilient seeds and then transform the farming industry so that there's a difference and a balance in farming, like the maize system that we have to
All right. I think it's no secret that what's happening in regards to climate is affecting us in an adverse way. I mean, being in Zambia, we know that over the last 15 years we've had 3 droughts, and it's affected us with regards to load shedding, which is evidence of the water tables dropping. But then you start to see the other effects once you start to travel outside of the different cities. If you, for example, when you talk about smallholder farmers, if you go out and meet dairy farmers, you get that milk output is low. You talk about other crops, you get to find out that their yields are also reduced during this period. And as a nation, the recovery from that is more expensive than we actually calculated. Just think about the farmer being impacted, but it has an impact on our food reserves as well as a nation, which then also has an impact on the price of food along the way when you start to have a conversation around it. So this is what we should really all be concerned about. So now, if you want to address the needs of the smallholder farmers, you need to talk about diversity, and that's why the seed becomes a very, very, very important conversation with regards to how do farmers diversify their crops and get crops that are actually drought resistant that can survive during the period when you get drought and things like that. But you also have to address irrigation. What happens right now at the moment when you talk about food security, we're looking at a situation where we're looking at rain-fed crops, and when you talk about farmers, they wait for the rain season to come around before they get plant their maize and they can And that's also one of the reasons why they don't implement rates. It's because they're waiting for the rate to come around, and then that the stakeholder example is really based in that case. But if you address solar and irrigation, for example, as another place, then you start to address, hopefully at a vital point that they can afford, then you start to address their ability to then grow crops all year round. And then them growing crops all year round means that they can sell food, hopefully, all year round. And then that also then starts to address what they gain as income. And that's why I talk about profitability amongst farmers. And being able to at least find that what they do for their lives is something that can help them achieve their dreams and making sure they can look after their families, send them to school, and make sure all of that happens. So we have to make farming viable. But we also have to look at it not just with commercial farmers, but down all the way to the subsistence farmers who actually are. You all know that the maize that we eat in this country is grown by subsistence farmers. So we have to make sure that they live well, and by participating in programs like this, where we look at innovation, we look at new ways of farming, we look at new ways of using technology to address climate information, solar, access to solar, aquaculture, and whether you do that on the same farm or in places where you can get that. And of course, seeds. Then once you look at that whole chain, then obviously, hopefully you've got a better place, and hopefully better yields and better growth that starts to happen, and better food security, access to food going on in this country, and hopefully to a point where we can also export.
Any further questions? We'll take one more, and then I think the party is getting started outside already, so then we can take it there. Please go in.
My question is, I just want to find out what benefits are you putting in place to ensure that these farmers that will benefit from this program execute your program, they execute your expectations. What are you putting in place in modalities to ensure that they deliver?
Okay, so it's about, sorry, just to rephrase, so it's about the expectations and how do we ensure that farmers deliver, right?
Yes,
Every business is deliver, okay. So in addition, I mean, you know, the grant is only one part. The accelerated grant is only one part. In fact, through this partnership, we're providing technical assistance. And that for us, I think, is the more meaningful engagement with agribusiness. So working with them to identify, first of all, the right kinds of partners. Then, what are the right kinds of finance mechanisms to help them gain access to markets, better access to finance. And that's sort of, you know, working with them in this 2 years. So it's really not just a sort of have money and leave them alone. We're really working in a partnership with agribusiness. Martin, I don't know if you want to add anything there?
Yeah, our approach is a demand-driven approach, where we know that farmers are demanding technologies that are supposed to assist them improve productivity, sustainably improve productivity. So definitely we aim at partnering with government extension services, we aim at partnering with government research services, and we aim at partnering with the market. So our approach is also market-oriented. Once farmers are able to profitably produce and improve productivity, then they can easily begin markets, which is a key driver to improving productivity. So that's how we can sustain the uptake of climate smart as well as climate information services within smallholder agriculture in Zambia.
Okay, thank you everybody. If there are no further questions, then I would like to invite you all to join us for some time at the poolside, and we can continue the conversation more informally. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, and please take a part.